The series began with Mai in 1975. She worked in a large cotton factory in her city. On that day, there was a basketball game between this factory and another team. All the employees attended and cheered for their factory. The factory manager's son played in the match. He was a skilled player. Everyone watched him, and he scored many goals. At the same time, on a train heading to Mai's city, Joe practiced his favorite hobby, which was drawing. He drew a child and his grandmother. While he drew, he noticed the child looking at someone. The child looked at a man and his wife while they ate. The child told his grandmother he was hungry, so she promised to bring him food. Joe told the couple he would draw them in exchange for food. They agreed, and he started drawing them. Back at the match, the factory team won. We learned a secret about the son. The manager's son hid his identity from people. He showed great interest in Mai, but she did not care. Mai did not care about him. She only cared about his mother to achieve a goal we will discover later. Back to Joe. He finished the drawing. The couple liked the drawing very much and gave him food. He took the food and gave it to the child. He also gave the couple the drawing he made for them. They were very happy. The passengers on the train noticed. Everyone wanted him to draw them too. Joe arrived in the city. He originally lived there. He traveled to the capital to work in a factory there. He returned today to deliver items from his coworkers. He brought the items to their families. The factory chose him for this task because he was the most distinguished and honest employee. He began delivering the items he had. One of the mothers thanked him for his effort. She gave him advice. She told him he should visit his family too. He got nervous, told her to leave it to God, and left her. He walked away. Meanwhile, Mai went to the manager and gave her the university application she had worked on. She worked hard on it. Mai wanted the manager to mediate for her acceptance. The manager told her to work hard this year, and she would apply for her next year. She hoped they would accept her. Mai left her office feeling very frustrated and hopeless. Joe finished delivering the items with only one left. Its location was Mai's house. May returned home and entered her room. Her parents noticed something. Her parents noticed she was upset. They made her more upset by whispering. They whispered that she definitely got rejected from the university again. She applied for 4 years and got rejected. She heard them trying to fix things. They tried to fix the situation, telling her to stay strong and hoping she would get accepted next year. Joe arrived at the street where he used to live. As soon as he arrived, he remembered his past memories. He lived there with his grandmother and parents. However, the government took his parents away. He stayed there. He stayed with his grandmother until she passed away. Since then, he lived alone and took care of himself. Poor Mai isolated herself. She sat in her room, recalling her sad memories. She remembered all the times she applied. She applied to the university and got rejected for strange reasons. Once they told her she must complete a year of work. They required work in the factory. Another time she needed to participate in volunteer work. And another time she had to participate in factory matches. They gave her empty excuses. The problem was that she completed all these tasks. She still got rejected. We learned this was her only dream in life. Joe felt lost. He looked for a place to sleep, but he found the room prices very high. He sneaked into a public swimming pool. He decided to sleep in the changing room until the morning. He took out his sketchbook. He looked at his drawings. He remembered Mai when she was his classmate in middle school. She took drawings from him in exchange for money. He remembered when she offered to pay him more to help him out. Suddenly, the guard entered and told him he had to leave. Joe begged him to let him stay. He asked to stay just for the night because he had nowhere else to sleep. The guard refused because he would lose his job if anyone found out. Joe told him it was fine. He said he would find another place and left. The weather became rainy and completely chaotic. He decided to stop walking. He found a tree and slept under it, but a storm and strong winds started. The winds blew so violently that houses collapsed. Mai and her family ran outside their house. Joe got up to help people and pull them out from under the rubble. He helped the lover of the factory manager's assistant. His house collapsed on him, so Joe came to help and pulled him out. Before he got out, the ceiling fell on him. The next day, the whole neighborhood tried to put everything back. They put things in their place. They talked about Joe, the hero who acted like Batman and saved everyone. In Mai's house, they also talked about him. Mai took the newspaper from her father's hand and saw news about a girl who helped her sick husband for 12 years. They rewarded the girl with a scholarship. At the factory, the manager sat and looked for someone to volunteer. She looked for someone to care for Joe after what he did for the neighborhood residents during the hurricane. Mai entered and said she would do it. The manager encouraged her and felt happy with her. Mai went to the hospital to see Joe. When she saw him, she remembered he was her classmate in the past. The first time she dealt with him, she fought with another boy, and Joe intervened and helped her. She also remembered that Joe always played pranks on her in class. He made the kids laugh at her, tripped her, and ruined her clothes. It was extremely annoying. He was an annoying kid. She stepped back and said, "No, what is this annoyance? Am I going to help this guy?" She walked away, but immediately returned when she remembered her main goal. Her goal was to enter the university. The next day, as Mai returned from the hospital, she met a girl named Ren. Ren's brother was engaged to Mai. Ren told Mai she bought her things to send to her traveling brother. Then Ren asked Mai about the young man Mai cared for. Ren asked if his condition improved. Mai replied, "No, no, no. There is no choice. He must get better so I can enter this university that exhausts me. The next day, Mai started her day in the hospital next to Joe. She paid attention to the smallest details so he would wake up faster. She also started studying his case to save time. Meanwhile, the manager's assistant was in a relationship with an employee. He was her lover, but she hid the relationship from everyone. They were together before the hurricane, and the only one who saw them was Joe. Her father refused to let her marry this employee because she graduated from university, while he did not. She hoped Joe would not wake up from the coma so that Mai would not get the scholarship, and Joe would not expose their secret relationship. At the hospital, Mai sat and talked to Joe because the nurse told her this would improve his condition faster. Then, Joe's girlfriend arrived at the hospital after she heard the news. The nurse told Mai she could leave and live her life. The nurse said Joe would take a long time to wake up. He needed years for that. His girlfriend was there, and it was better for her to care for him. Mai felt upset because she would lose her chance at the scholarship. She went out to sit with Joe's girlfriend. Mai told her she had no problem continuing to care for him. His girlfriend replied, "I do not have time to care for him because I am busy at the university." She thanked Mai for continuing to care for him. Later, Mai sat with the nurse to learn from her experience. Mai asked what could help him wake up faster. The nurse told her to play music next to him, as sounds around him generally helped. Mai went to work. When she returned, she brought a radio and played songs for him. She talked to him and read him books. Then she heard the names of the scholarship winners were released. She ran to check, but she did not find her name. She felt very upset and ran to ask the manager. The manager told her that her current mission was to care for Joe until he woke up. The manager said Mai's name might appear next year. At the end of the day, Mai sat with Joe in the hospital. She talked to him like she always did. She said no one appreciated how much she wanted to enter this university. She explained she did not want to enter it for work or money. She loved reading and writing, and she wanted to be a famous writer. She cried and told him, "I care for you just for that reason. Wake up already. Do not be annoying." Joe actually woke up and asked her, "Why are you crying?" She got startled and ran to call the doctors. However, they found he did not remember anything. The next day, Mai sat with Ren. She told her that Joe had amnesia, and it seemed the situation was not over. The manager and her assistant came to visit Joe. The manager's assistant felt extremely happy that Joe lost his memory so he would not expose her relationship. The manager talked to Mai and said, "You will be a role model for everyone in the factory. I will write about you in the newspapers, and I will apply for you at the college. What do you think?" Mai felt very happy. She promised she would not abandon him. She said she would stay by his side until his health and memory returned. She went to share the happy news with Ren. Her dream would finally come true. They jumped like crazy people out of joy. Mai returned to Joe and tried to help him recover his memories. She showed him his sketchbook. She told him about the day of the storm, but he gave no response. He did not remember anything. Ren sat with Mai and told her to let him go. She advised Mai to focus on her life because there was no hope for him anymore. Mai told her she had no life, and this was her only way to achieve her dream. The next day, Joe's girlfriend visited him in the hospital, but he did not remember her. Later, his sister came to visit him, but he did not remember her either. His sister decided to take him to a rehabilitation center. She told Mai he had amnesia. The next day, Mai met his sister. His sister told her he had a week left before going to the center. She told Mai that he loved drawing. She suggested if Mai brought him new tools, it might help him and renew his passion. Later, Mai went to the hospital and found Joe wanting to throw himself out the window. She stopped him. He told her, "My sister wants to take me away from you, and I do not want to leave you." He looked at her and said, "Do not leave me." He asked her not to leave him alone. Mai calmed Joe down. Mai saw that Joe's sister started packing his clothes, so she went to meet her again. Mai asked Joe's sister to give her a chance to execute her plan. Mai told her that if the plan failed, she could take him to a rehabilitation center. The sister agreed to wait. Mai bought all the new drawing tools and gave them to Joe. He felt very happy with them. The first thing Joe did was ask to draw Mai. She felt helpless. Mai spent all her money on him. She decided to push herself harder at work to earn more money and help him. Joe finished the drawing and gave it to Mai. She liked it very much and told him that at the end of the week, she wanted to take him to see someone. Joe told her he did not want to because he would not remember anyway. We saw Ren talking to Mai's traveling brother. Ren asked him to tell her if he submitted the return request. She found him stalling, so she fought with him. She told him if he did not want to return or marry her, he should just let her know. He reacted angrily and told her he would not return. The next day, while Mai and Joe walked, Mai met Joe's girlfriend walking with the manager's daughter. Mai pulled the girlfriend aside and told her that since she was Joe's former girlfriend, staying beside him for a while would help him recover his memory faster. Her reaction was strange. She told Mai, "No, I will focus on my life. Do you think I am a psychiatrist? I am not his girlfriend. Do not ask me for help again." She left Mai and walked away. Mai took Joe for a walk in a place they frequented in the past. Joe did not remember anything. He told her, "I do not care that I do not remember anything. On the contrary, this is better." Mai asked him, "Do you not feel worried that someone might take advantage of you?" He replied, "That was in the past. You are beside me me, and I feel reassured. Mai held his hand and ran with him to the street where his house was located, hoping he would remember something. However, Joe did not remember anything at all. They saw children climbing a tree. Joe remembered all his memories with his grandmother. He remembered her care for him, and when she yelled at him for climbing the exact same tree, a boy almost fell, and Joe caught him. Joe told Mai, "Let us go. I want to eat ice cream." Mai took him and bought him ice cream, but he acted picky. He told her, "No, not this one." He drew the specific ice cream he wanted. Mai told him that type was expensive and told him to eat quietly. He actually ate quiet. Mai stared at him. She said, "If you do not tell anyone you are sick, no one will notice." An idea came to her mind. She told him, "I will ask you for a favor." Joe requested ice cream in return. They returned to the hospital. Mai made him memorize words to say in front of the manager to convince her that his memory had fully returned. Joe shocked Mai by memorizing the words very quickly. Mai went to the manager. The manager felt very happy with them. The manager asked Joe questions, and he answered. He reached the sentence he memorized and paused for a few seconds. He stayed silent. The manager looked at Mai and asked, "Did you not say he became completely fine?" Mai replied, "He is just nervous." Joe started speaking from his mind about how much Mai helped him and taught him everything from the beginning, including how to brush his teeth. He said she sacrificed her time for him. Joe praised Mai highly. The manager's assistant felt terrified. She feared Joe would remember her relationship with the employee and expose her. The manager promised Mai she would apply for her at the university. Mai took Joe to get the ice cream she promised him. While they sat together, Joe realized that she only helped him to get the scholarship. Mai explained the situation to him. She told him she needed to enter the university because it was her life's dream. While they walked, they saw a piano. Joe took her and started playing with her. While Mai taught him, Joe remembered his grandmother teaching him to play. He also remembered Mai when she played the piano while he watched her. At the manager's office, the assistant stood with the manager. The assistant asked the manager if she would really recommend Mai for the university. The assistant suggested waiting until the next year. The manager told her she would postpone the other employee's application until next year and apply for Mai this year. The assistant got very upset. She tried to convince the manager to send the employee this year instead. The manager told the assistant that her constant recommendations for that employee gave the impression they were in a relationship. The manager advised her to be careful because there was nothing official between them. The manager warned her that her reputation in the factory would be ruined if the rumor spread. After hearing this, the assistant felt scared and became even angrier. Mai went to her friend Ren at work. Mai told her about the university issue. Mai asked Ren if her brother submitted the return request. Ren told Mai that her brother seemed to like staying in the countryside and did not want to return to marry her. Mai told her not to say that and promised to talk to him. Ren told Mai to leave her alone because she knew how to convince him. Ren returned home. Her mother treated her badly and favored her brother's wife over her. Even her brother's wife forced Ren to do all the housework and cooking. Ren talked to Mai's brother and cried, telling him he must return because she hated the house and wanted to leave. He told her that even if he returned, they had no place to live. He asked if she wanted him to kick Mai out of their house. He advised her to move on if she found a better opportunity. Ren broke down crying. The manager's assistant met with her lover. She created a plan to test if Joe really remembered her lover or not. The lover pretended to fall in front of Joe. Joe got up to help him. It became obvious that Joe did not remember him at all. The assistant felt happy, but she realized that Mai lied to them and Joe had not recovered. The assistant brought a medical report from the hospital regarding his condition. She showed it to the manager, exposed Mai's lie, and the manager summoned Mai. She told her, "I want you to answer me honestly. Did Joe really recover or not?" She started scolding her for lying to them. The assistant acted like a 6-burner stove, constantly adding fuel to the fire. The manager banned Mai from applying to the university. Poor Mai sat by the sea, mourning her luck. She remembered the manager's assistant stopping her. The assistant told Mai, "I will put you in my head because you once corrected my spelling mistakes and embarrassed me in front of everyone." She also told Mai, "If you enter the university, my fiancé will not be able to enter. Honestly, I am happy this happened to you." The next day, Mai stood by the Nile and saw Ren walking with a man. She felt surprised, stopped Ren, and asked her. Ren told Mai she went out with him on an arranged date because of her family. Ren told Mai what happened during her last call with her brother and that he told her to do this. Ren said, "I thought you would go to the university and stay in the university dorms. I thought our problem would be solved and we would get married in your house." Mai realized she was the one delaying them. Mai returned home and recalled all her memories with her brother from when they were children. She remembered how he always sacrificed for her, whether it was food, new school supplies, or clothes. Even regarding work, he was the one who had the opportunity to work in the cotton factory while she had a job in the countryside. At that time, he said he was the man and he would travel to the countryside. He gave her his job at the factory. She told herself that he always sacrificed for her. It was her turn to sacrifice for him this time. The next day, she met Ren and asked her to give her brother just a 3-month chance. She He promised he would come to marry her. Mai returned home and told her parents she was ready to get married now. They started looking for a groom for her, on the condition that he be a young and handsome man. Honestly, they felt happy with this decision. Later, an employee at the factory met Mai and told her, "I heard you are ready to go on arranged dates. I have a great groom for you. Furthermore, he is the one who always asks me about you." He turned out to be the manager's son. The employee left them to get to know each other. Meanwhile, Joe sat in the hospital drawing Mai, but he did not know it was Mai. He asked the nurse why she had not visited him for 2 days. He made the nurse tell him her home address. At that time, Mai and the manager's son went to the cinema together, but he kept falling asleep. After the movie, he walked her home. Her mother invited him for lunch out of courtesy, but he took the invitation seriously and entered. Joe was already there, fixing the furniture with her father. Joe told her in front of him, "You did not come to visit me because you were at the cinema." He added, "I will also stay and have lunch with you because I am very hungry." Her father made tea for both of them. He said to the manager's son, "How are you? How are you and how is your mother?" He replied, "She is fine." Then he asked Joe, "And how are you? How is your health, my dear?" Joe replied, "It is fine." The father said, "Well, since everyone is fine, I will go see if the food is ready." They sat, looking at each other, full of challenge, as if saying, "She was with me first and you took her from me." Mai heard that. Her parents felt nervous because of the presence of both men, and they did not know what to do. Mai entered, took Joe by the hand, and took him outside. He told her, "You did not come to see me so you could watch a movie with him. By the way, I can take you to the cinema if you want. Even if you want to go on an arranged date, I can come too." "It is normal," she replied. "Enough. Go back to the hospital, and we will see about this later." At the end of the day, after the manager's son finished lunch with them, Mai stood up and told him that their social levels were not the same. She said he must talk to the manager first, especially since she would not be working. She explained she would leave her job for her brother when he returned from the countryside. He thought carefully and told her he would talk to his mother today and inform her of his response. He returned home and told his mother he wanted to marry Mai. He mentioned the problem was that she would leave her job at the factory. His mother strongly objected to her. However, he kept telling her, "Oh, you told me that you criticized the working class." She started hitting him. After a long, violent discussion, she told him, "I will approve of your relationship with her, but on the condition that you convince her to forget about the university, because if she applies and gets accepted, you will wait for many long years, Wahid." He replied, "Consider it done, mother." The next day, he went to her and told her that everything was fine, and he had no problem if she was without a job. However, he did not tell her about the university issue. He told her, "Let us go now because I booked 2 cinema tickets. This time I will not sleep. Do not worry." Then they saw Joe in front of them. Joe told her, "This button fell off my shirt. Teach me how to sew it." The manager's son told him, "Why do you not? Ask the nurses at the hospital, man." He then told Mai, "Let us go to catch the movie." Joe said to them, "Are you serious? Take me with you." Mai replied, "Enough, honey. Go back to the hospital. Come on." He played dumb and told her, "But I do not remember the way back." He kept walking in the wrong directions to make her worry about him. The situation ended with him joining them at the cinema and sitting in the middle between them. The manager's son felt upset and wanted to sit next to her, so she sat in the middle. The movie was very boring, so she fell asleep. She was about to lean on his shoulder, but Joe caught her and pulled her towards him. He told the manager's son to focus on the movie. Later, they dropped Joe off at the hospital. The manager's son took her home. Afterward, he talked to her about how she needed to stay away from Joe for a while because it would ruin their relationship. Also, he felt he liked her. He talked to her about the university issue. He told her she did not need to enter it and should settle in her house instead. He asked her to think about the matter. On her way back home, she remembered her promise to Ren that she would make her brother marry her in 3 months. She remembered the joy of her parents. She told herself she must not ruin the marriage. The next day, Mai went to Joe at the hospital and told him, "I took a day off from work to take you out for a while and buy you new clothes." She took him to the cinema and asked him, "You heard this movie before. Do you remember anything?" He did not remember anything at all. She told herself she stayed with him hoping he might remember something. It seemed there was no hope, and this would serve as a final farewell. Later, she took him and bought him clothes. She sat with him in a restaurant. She told him that as soon as his memory returned, her mission would end. She added that she would not enter the university and the hospital bills were all paid. She told him he must leave the hospital and go to the housing office to find a room to stay in. At the end of the day, Mai dropped Joe off at the hospital. She gave him money and told him, "Remember everything I told you." He replied, "You talked a lot, by the way, and I forgot. Come back tomorrow and tell me again." She told him, "I will not come tomorrow, the day after, or ever again." Then she noticed his shoelace was untied. He told her, "I still do not know how to tie it." She sat down to teach teach him, but he told her, "Enough, come tomorrow and teach me." She became very angry and told him, "Stop depending on me and following me everywhere. I owe my family and my brother many things. My marriage will solve the issue. Take care of yourself and do not look for me again." She left him and walked away. He ran after her but fell because of his shoelace. He sat to tie it but could not. He went up to the hospital and flipped through his sketchbook. He looked at all the drawings he made of the girl, and his memory completely returned. He remembered that she was Mai. He immediately went to her house. He asked her, "Do you love the manager's annoying son?" She replied, "I neither love him nor hate him. He is just a suitable groom. He has a job and a house." Joe was about to tell her his memory returned, but he remembered when she told him, "If you recover, my mission with you will end." He decided to hide the truth from her. He told her, "I will find a job and a house. Until I do that, do not marry anyone." Joe left her and walked away. The next day, he went to the newspaper office. Its manager was his uncle. Joe met him, sat with him, and asked him for a job at the newspaper. Joe showed him his drawings. His uncle told him that currently there were no available jobs, but there was a 2-month training. If he succeeded, he would draw comic stories for their magazine for good money. Joe told his uncle he completely agreed. Joe added, "Look, uncle, my memory returned to me, but I do not want anyone to know about this matter. Act as if I am still sick." His uncle promised to hide this secret for him. Later, Joe's former girlfriend sat and watched the manager's son play basketball. The manager arrived, saw her, and her assistant told her that the girl was a university student who came every day to watch the training. The manager liked the girl and stood to talk with her. Joe sat with an employee from the newspaper. Joe asked him to find him a small room to live in. The employee told him that housing was difficult there. However, the cotton factory had housing units that would become available. The employee said, "Your name should be among the first candidates because you got injured while helping their employees." The employee called the manager and discussed this matter with her. She replied, "Even without you telling me, I intended to do that. As soon as a room becomes available, I will give it to him." Her assistant heard this conversation. She was so distracted that she spilled tea onto the desk. Later, the manager's son entered. He told his mother he would invite Mai to visit her at home tomorrow. The manager agreed. The next day, Mai's mother started preparing her to visit her future mother-in-law. Her father gave her food and gifts to present to her future mother-in-law for her first visit. Mai arrived, but the manager welcomed her in a very unpleasant and reluctant manner. When her son asked, "Well, mother, where is the food?" she told him, "Wait, there is another guest coming." This guest was Joe's former girlfriend. As soon as she arrived, the manager jumped up to open the door for her and served her tea, although her son had only served water to Mai. The other girl brought a newspaper article about the manager's son as a gift. The manager told her, "Yes, these are the gifts that truly nourish the soul. Not everything is about food and drink." She threw a hint at Mai's gift. The manager asked Mai, "Do you like fish? I brought a fish specifically for you. Get up and cook it yourself." Mai forced herself to endure it and stood up. The manager's son felt embarrassed by his mother's actions. He stood up to help Mai in the kitchen. However, his mother called him to sit with the guest instead. Throughout the meal, the manager made Mai uncomfortable while praising the other girl for being a university student. She stated that studying was the most important thing. Of course, Mai ate in silence. Her son asked his mother, "How did you tell me your only condition for the marriage was that Mai does not enter the university? Yet now, you say this?" His mother kept comparing them and spoke badly about Mai. The other girl started showing off her talents during the meal and played music for them. Mai sat in the background, taking out her anger on the food. She finished the whole fish, stood up and told her, "I." She finished eating. She took her gift and told the manager she probably would not need it anymore. She left them and walked away. The manager's son ran after her. He asked her to wait and promised to convince his mother to accept her. He begged her to wait, but she told him they were not suitable for each other. She walked away, took the food, and went to the hospital. She decided Joe deserved it more. She sat down and told him about what happened. He felt very upset for her. He made her happy by telling her he found a job, and the manager of her factory would provide him with housing. He told her she could come live with him as soon as he received it, if she wanted. She thanked him for wanting to help her. Later, she went to work. Meanwhile, the malicious assistant manipulated the manager's mind regarding the housing she wanted to give to Joe. The assistant spoke badly about him to the manager. She claimed his morals were bad, and he might act insolent and ask her for more things after receiving the housing. She told the manager she saw him with Mai several times, even after he knew she was engaged to her son. She continued to speak ill of him. Later, when Joe went to the manager to see what happened with the matter, she apologized to him. She said she could not give him the apartment because the factory employees and married couples deserved this housing more. Outside the factory, Mai headed home. The manager's son stopped her. She told him, "I told you we are not suitable for each other. Let us not continue with this matter. Listen to your mother." He yelled at her and forcefully tried to convince her. Every time she walked away, he stopped her until Joe arrived. Joe asked him, "Did she not tell you that you two are not suitable for each other?" Joe got on his bicycle and told Mai, "Come on, get on. Let us leave this place." However, the manager's son stopped her and said, "If you ride with him and refuse to come with me, consider your brother's job lost. Also, you will never smell the scent of the university without my mother's approval. Mai rode with Joe normally, completely ignoring him, and they left. The manager's son looked truly pathetic in the middle of the street. Mai thought about his threat and the promises she made to Ren and her brother. She felt suffocated and told Joe she did not want to go home. He took her and they continued walking. When she asked him why he was at their factory today, he told her the manager said housing was only available for married couples. She suggested they get married on paper so he could get the apartment. She would get half of it and they could live together. He strongly welcomed the idea. He told her that his memory returned a little. He then took her and dropped her off at her house. She told him they must start the marriage procedures quickly before the apartment was taken from them. The next morning, Mai went to the manager and told her she and Joe would get married. She gave her a letter to register for housing and get an apartment. She told the manager, "Our relationship was innocent before this. I decided not to marry your son because from the last visit, I learned that people belong to different social classes and everyone must know their place." Mai threw these words at her. The manager told her she would sign the letter for her. Mai went to the hospital to meet Joe, but she did not find him. He was at her house officially proposing to her parents. Mai arrived home and felt surprised. Her mother pulled her into the room and cornered her, while her father cornered Joe outside. They started a harsh investigation. They asked them when they met, when they fell in love, and the reason for this sudden decision. Her mother disliked his condition because he was sick and had amnesia. She told Mai, "You leave the other rich groom and hold on to this one?" Mai told her she had separated from the manager's son. Ultimately, her parents completely refused the marriage. Later, Mai walked with Joe and got angry at him. She wanted to hide the matter from them for a while since their marriage was only on paper. However, he completely ruined everything. He told her, "Do not worry, I will fix everything." Meanwhile, when the manager's son heard the news of Mai's marriage, he feared for his reputation in front of people. However, his mother forced him to marry the other girl. The next day, Joe went to Mai's house. He sat with her father, who was playing chess with his friends in the street. Her father crossed his legs, confident. He placed a big bet, claiming he could defeat his opponent. He actually played around with him. He defeated him completely, making him lose everything. Her father won, and Joe went up to the house with him. Meanwhile, Mai sat with Ren, telling her what happened to her. She asked Ren to stand by her side and help her a little. She emphasized not telling anyone about this matter until it was complete, especially her brother. Back to Joe. He talked with Mai's father about how much he loved and appreciated her. He promised to provide her with a good life. He started telling him why she separated from the manager's son and how the manager treated her. Her father got very angry. Joe pointed out the difference between himself and that weak boy. One of the most important differences was that Joe cared about achieving Mai's dream of entering the university. He promised to help her with that. He respected and appreciated her. He told her father, "This is why she loves me." Her father said, "If I agree to this marriage, can you promise me you will fulfill all your words to me now?" Joe stood up, saluted him, and promised to fulfill everything to the letter. The next day, Mai went with Joe. They brought groceries to present to her family. Mai tried to convince them of Joe again. She gave him instructions before they reached the house. As soon as they entered the street, she found her father treating him very well. Her father told him to go ahead and he would follow. Joe stood up. Joe held her hand and they went up to the house. She did not understand what made him so brave. Her father went up after them and told her he had one question. He asked her, "Why do you insist on marrying him?" She told him it was because he respected her, appreciated her dreams, and cared for them. Her father told her that was a sufficient answer, but she must not expose the matter until her mother completely agreed. Her mother returned from the market. She found everyone saying congratulations to her. People told her how handsome and decent her daughter's husband was and asked her not to forget the wedding sweets. She did not understand anything and went up to the house. She found them all gathered and started an investigation from the beginning. She told Mai she knew she wanted to marry him to empty the house for her brother. Her mother said she would not accept her ruining her life like that. Mai told her she actually loved him. He had a kind heart and he was a man. She said she did not find herself with the manager's spoiled son. Her father told her mother that he wanted to prevent her from entering the university. The mother calmed down in the end and surrendered to reality. The next day, Joe dressed up to go take her from her family. Mai, her mother, her father, and Ren stood waiting for him. An hour passed and he did not come. She asked about him at the hospital and they told her he went out in the morning. Her father and mother got angry, left her, and walked away. Mai noticed that Ren felt very nervous. Mai asked her to tell the truth and reveal what disaster she caused. Mai asked if she told her brother and if he returned from traveling. It turned out to be true, and her brother tied Joe to a tree and started an investigation with him too. Our hero became a punching bag. At the critical moment, Mai and Ren arrived and stopped him. When the brother talked about Joe's circumstances, Ren told the brother to stop. She told him Mai loved him regardless of his circumstances. At that moment, the brother could not speak. He asked Joe to take care of his sister instead of tying him to the tree again. Later, Joe and Mai went to register their marriage. They took wedding photos. Then they gathered with her family to celebrate this marriage. Mai told Ren that as soon as they received the housing, she and her brother should leave immediately and get married. At the end of the day, her parents wanted to leave the apartment for them to sleep in that night. However, Joe told them he arranged everything and they would sleep in a guest house. They went there. Mai wrote an agreement for him on a paper stating that their marriage was only legal and there were no marital duties between them. He signed it normally. He also gave her something to defend herself with if she wanted. He told her his memory had fully returned, but he was afraid to tell her so she would not stay away from him. He told her since she was his wife now, there was no escape. He laid out a bed on the floor and slept. They stayed up all night thinking about how they would organize their new house and what they would put in it. The next day, Mai's brother returned to the countryside and promised Ren he would return early to get engaged to her. Joe and Mai went to the manager to finalize the housing issue, but they found her stalling and refusing to give them a room. Mai argued with her, but Joe stopped Mai, took her, and they left. Mai sat crying and cursing her luck. An idea came to his mind to get their housing back. However, he took her and went to her family. Her mother prepared a room for them to sleep in. She told Mai not to worry about her brother because he was a man and would manage. At the end of the day, Mai asked Joe about the method he mentioned to get their housing back. He asked her if she feared a scandal or not. She replied she did. He told her, even if this scandal gets us our housing back, she told him she would not be afraid then. He took her, grabbed a blanket with them, went to the factory, and entered the manager's office. They laid out a bed in the office and slept. She asked him if he was sure this method would get the housing back. He told her, if she does not give us a room, I will continue sleeping here until she agrees. If she yells at you, throw all the blame on me, claiming I am mentally ill. The next day, the manager went to the factory. As soon as she entered her office, she got shocked. They calmly told her good morning. The manager started scolding them. Her assistant was present. Since Joe regained his memory, he turned to the manager's assistant and said, "Oh, you are here." He started telling her what happened on the day of the storm. He was about to say she was with that employee, so she interrupted him. She went to the manager and said, "I will give up my housing for them and sacrifice for you." The manager praised the assistant and her morals. She told them to look and learn. Mai and Joe stood there agreeing sarcastically. When they went to the housing, Joe warned the assistant against coming their way again or trying to harm Mai. She left the housing for them and walked away. Joe took Mai and they went to buy new paint. They prepared the room themselves and even painted it. At that time, Mai's brother called Ren and told her he was finally returning to the city. Even Joe's sister married a doctor there. The next day, Joe went to his uncle to inform him he got married. He found his former girlfriend there because she worked with them at the newspaper. They invited him and he went down. She followed him and realized his memory had returned. She asked him if he hated her. He told her not to worry because she was transparent to him. He added that if she had not refused to care for him in the hospital, he would not have met Mai and married her. He thanked her very much. Later, he returned to Mai and took her to the roof of their house, which they discovered. They sat talking about how they needed to buy furniture for the house. They discussed buying used furniture for their new house, which was acceptable. They spent their time laughing and joking. It seemed life would finally smile at them too. At the end of the day, they went to sleep at Mai's family house until they furnished their apartment. Mai calculated the money she had and wrote down what she needed to buy. The next day, Mai and Joe went to buy their furniture. Joe told her it was inappropriate for newlyweds to have two separate beds in their house. He asked what people would say. Then, Mai saw a bunk bed. She told him they should buy it. She suggested that if anyone asked, they would say they used the top bunk to store things. Later, Mai's parents arrived and helped them furnish their house. They admired the beautiful setup. Afterward, their neighbor in the building entered to congratulate them on their marriage. The first thing the neighbor said was, "What is this? Do you not sleep next to each other?" Mai wished people would mind their own business. Anyway, Mai saved the situation and told her they used the top bunk to store things. The neighbor felt convinced and left. Later, Mai and Joe went to welcome Mai's brother, who returned from his trip. The first thing her brother announced was that he planned to propose to Ren. Mai told him she would go with him. Meanwhile, Mai's father sat playing chess with his friend. His friend asked him if he was confident that Joe did not have a wife or children back in the countryside. He questioned Joe's morals. Her father realized he had never thought about this matter before. He went to talk to his wife. His wife told him, "Good morning, you just remembered this now?" He replied, "Quiet, I have a plan. I will drink with him until he confesses his entire life story to me, right from his birth." At Ren's family house, her mother acted maliciously. She told Mai's brother, "You are not suitable for my daughter at all." However, Mai did not stay quiet. She gave her a piece of her mind. Mai told her that money was not everything and that they would treat Ren with the utmost care. She added that her brother would find a job very soon. Ren's mother replied, "Fine. When he finds a job, we will proceed with the marriage." They considered this an approval. Mai's father started executing his plan on Joe. He showered Joe with questions until the father himself got completely drunk. They went out for a walk. Joe told him, "I do not want you to worry. Uncle, Mai is my first relationship." At this moment, her father broke down. He told Joe how he was not a good father to her. He admitted he always let her sacrifice her basic rights. He also did not help her enter college. Even for her wedding, he did not throw her a party or buy her wedding sweets. Joe sat and consoled him. Joe returned home and told Mai how much her family loved her. He asked her how she wanted their wedding to be. She told him that gathering everyone together and being happy was enough for her. Joe started preparing a surprise for her. We saw Joe's sister packing her clothes. She told her husband that her brother invited her to a wedding party. He asked if she wanted him to come with her, but she told him to stay. She felt upset with him because she discovered he only married her because she resembled his ex-girlfriend. Their relationship was not good. The next day, she took the train to return to the city. She found him sitting in the seat facing her. He told her it was just a coincidence and that he was on a work trip. He gave her VIP tickets for the train. He told her she could use them to rest inside, a private room. She entered and found him sleeping inside. Later, an annoying passenger came and kept bothering her. Her husband got up, firmly handled the man, and said, "I am her husband. If you have any problem." She started to soften towards him. The next day, we saw Joe opening a box in their room. He took money from Mai's savings to fund the party. He also bought sweets. He felt a little guilty, but he promised himself he would return the money. He told Mai's brother about the surprise he planned and asked for his help. Meanwhile, Joe's sister checked into a hotel. She found her husband had taken the room right next to hers. He told her it was also a coincidence. She replied, "Yes, I noticed. If you want to come with me to my brother's wedding, I agree. However, I do not want to announce my arrival in the city yet, nor do I want him to know." Later, Joe returned home and asked Mai to go to the factory the next day wearing a dress. She felt surprised by his request. The next day, she actually wore a dress and went to work. Joe wore a suit and went to the factory. During lunchtime, Mai found her parents and Ren walking towards her. Ren gave her a wedding gift and congratulated her. Mai asked her, "Whose marriage is this?" Joe told her, "Our marriage, honey." Before she could even process the shock, the manager entered to announce their wedding party. Everyone celebrated with them. The manager asked Mai's parents to step forward and say a few words. Meanwhile, Joe's sister stood outside, refusing to enter. The manager apologized that Joe's family could not attend. However, his sister's husband stepped in and announced, "No, we are here." Joe's sister entered to congratulate him. Her husband introduced himself as Joe's brother-in-law. Later, Joe announced he prepared a fish feast for them. He brought in massive quantities of fish to feed the entire factory. Mai felt completely shocked. When the manager asked Mai to say a few words and thank her husband, she broke down crying. She expressed how shocked and happy she was, though everyone knew the real reason she cried. Their neighbor in the housing building mentioned the bunk bed in their room in front of the manager's assistant. The neighbor laughed maliciously. When Joe and Mai returned home, Mai asked him, "Joe, my dear, where did you get the money for the fish?" He replied, "Your money." She rushed to the box, found the money was actually missing, and burst into tears. He apologized and told her, "I swear I tried fishing many times but failed. I decided to buy them because I wanted to. I wanted to make you happy and make your parents proud of you." She left the house and told him, "Do not follow me." Meanwhile, Ren met her lover. He told her he had not found a job yet. She exploded at him too. She told him, "I waited enough. Since you have not found a job, consider me married." She returned home and actually found a groom sitting with her family. She welcomed him, sat to drink with him, and started talking to him about her lover and the injustice he faced. She talked about him not finding a job until she completely drove the groom away with her manner. At the end of the day, Mai returned home. Joe kept apologizing to her profusely, but she did nothing but cry because she intended to use that money to enter the university. The next day, he sat with her again and explained why he did that. He promised to compensate her and return the money. She decided to forgive him. The next day, his sister and her husband were returning home. Mai gave him food and money, said goodbye to them, and left. She went to meet her colleague Mai at work, and they went to the factory together. Her colleague told her that a job opportunity in the advertising department would be available next month. Mai asked her if her brother could be accepted for it. She told her, "Yes, but there was someone else who asked me to secure it for him in exchange for providing me with a television purchase voucher." Mai told her, "Done. I will provide it for you. Just help us get my brother hired." Her brother was actually bothering the manager at the employment office to find him a job. He told the manager, "I will stay here until I die." Eventually, the manager sent him to the cleaning department, which was all women, just to get rid of his nagging. The poor guy was satisfied with anything as long as he had a job so he would not lose rent. Mai was in the cafeteria with the women. She approached one of them and complimented her a little to win her favor. Then she asked her, "Is your brother not also in the trade office? Could he intervene and get me a television purchase voucher?" The woman told her that her brother could not provide something like that, and it was very difficult for anyone to just get it. Mai asked her if it was possible to buy it with money. She told her, yes, of course, it is possible, with money, but a lot of money, 501. Later, Mai and Joe were returning home. They met the malicious assistant of the manager. She told them, I came to visit and see your house. They felt nervous because of the bunk bed that caused them worry. Mai winked at Joe, gave him her bag, and told him, bring the food, I forgot to get it. She took the assistant and went up to the house. Meanwhile, Joe ran to the room first, entered through the window, put things on the top bunk, and put 2 pillows on the bottom bunk. When Mai and the assistant arrived, Mai told her, oh no, the key is in the bag with Joe. It seems we will have to wait for him. Joe finished his task, climbed down the window, and went to them. He entered the apartment while the assistant sat, examining every detail in it. When they found her still suspicious, Joe started joking with Mai and tickling her, until the malicious assistant felt embarrassed, left them, and walked away. Upon leaving, she met their colleague from work. The assistant told her she suspected Joe's relationship with his wife Mai. She believed their marriage was only on paper to win one of the houses distributed by the factory. Their colleague told her they must go report what they learned to the manager for the sake of the factory. Late at night, we found them bringing the manager and opening their house in the middle of the night to check on them. However, they found that they had actually put things on the top bunk and were sleeping together on the bottom one. Joe started yelling at them for doing this to a married couple. He went out in front of the people gathered outside almost, swearing she was his wife. Anyway, the manager apologized to him and went down to scold the assistant. She told her, I know you are bitter because the apartment was taken from you, but it is not an excuse to attack people in their homes in the middle of the night like this. It is very clear that their relationship is good together. Meanwhile, Joe was on the balcony and saw them standing with the housing manager, taking his spare apartment key. He immediately went in, fixed everything, and then they went back to sleep in their separate places after the intruders left. He told her that if they had not noticed, their house would have been confiscated every time. While they were sitting at night, she told him about the television voucher she wanted to get, so the department head would secure a job for her brother. The very next day, Joe went to the market to look into this matter for her. He kept wandering until he found someone who had a television, but it was dismantled. When he returned home, Mai found his clothes ruined. She took them to wash for him. There, she met the department head who asked her, what did you do about the voucher issue? Many people want the job, Mai told her. I am working on it. Then Joe entered and gave the head a voucher. He told her, it will only be 10 days and I will bring you the television. The head flew with joy and told Mai, tell your brother to prepare his papers. The head went to her husband to give him the voucher, but he discovered it was forged. She took it, returned to them at their house, and scolded them. Joe told her, I promised you and I will keep my promise. Exactly 10 days and I will bring you the television. She left. Mai squeezed every penny. She had to see if she could get the amount in 10 days or not, but there was no hope. At the manager's house, we saw Joe's ex-girlfriend sticking around them because she had her eyes on the manager's son, of course. The manager cared for her because she saw her as a great and suitable bride. However, her son completely ignored her. Back to Mai at work. She remembered when she asked a coworker if she could lend her some money to help her out of a tight spot. Of course, the coworker complained about being poor but suggested if you are in a hurry, you can ask the manager's son. He is financially comfortable, especially since there was a relationship between you two. He would never refuse your request. Mai told her, all right, I will find a way. Mai found the department head brought a new table for the television. The department head told Mai not to forget. Only a few days remained, which gave Mai more worries than she already carried. Mai returned home consumed by sadness. She found Joe entering with a record player. Joe told her, do not worry, I did not buy it. I borrowed it. He played music for her, and they sat listening to it together. After playing it 3 times, Mai still told him she wanted to hear it again. Joe told her, enough, the time is late and I must return it. He went to return it. Mai realized it was very late. She wondered where he would go at this hour. Mai followed him. Joe reached the man who had the old television. Mai entered the room. Joe explained to her that the man was an engineer and would dismantle the radio to use its parts for the television. The 3 of them kept working on it for days. The scene shifted to Joe's sister. She returned home. She found her husband drunk and asleep. She apologized to him, explaining she had to leave him for a while to travel on a business trip. Her husband held her hand, kept asking her not to leave, and called her by his ex-girlfriend's name. Then he apologized to his ex-girlfriend for failing to save her and leaving her. He cried over her death. Joe's sister stood up and searched his bag. She found a picture of the ex-girlfriend and realized she looked exactly like her. After days of working on the television, Joe and Mai finished it. They tested it, and it actually worked. They felt extremely happy. Back to Joe's brother-in-law. When he woke up, he found his ex-girlfriend's picture next to him. His wife wrote on the back that she traveled for work and noted she really looked like her. He ran to the train station and kept looking for her. She saw him but remained silent. Joe took the television to the department head with Mai. They turned it on for her. They had a festive night, and the whole neighborhood came to watch with them. The very next day, Mai's brother went to start his new new job in the advertising department. Afterward, he went to Ren's family. Ren felt very proud of him and boasted in front of her parents. She told them she believed the marriage matter was finally settled. However, her parents made things difficult again. They stated they wanted new and expensive furniture. Ren kept fighting with them until Mai's brother stood up and told them, "Give me just 1 month and you will have the best furniture." Ren felt very happy with him. She went out with him and told him she saved money to help him. He declined, stating he was a capable man and would make her proud. He returned home where his family gathered. His parents gave him the money they saved for his marriage. Mai also contributed her own money. Everyone looked at Mai's father, waiting for his turn. They waited for him to contribute. The father felt embarrassed, stood up, and brought money for his son. The father said he saved that money for emergencies. Joe told Mai's brother, "You will save the money for the carpenter. I will make the furniture for you. You just buy the wood and help me. This carpentry work will be my gift to you." The very next day, Joe started working on the furniture and finished it. They went to Ren's house. Finally, her family agreed to the marriage. Mai thanked Joe for everything he did for her family. He told her he only wanted one thing in return. He took her to their house. She found he took some of her brother's wood and made one large bed. He told her this was his request. To prevent her from getting upset, he placed a long piece of wood to separate them on the bed. Mai conceded and agreed. The next day was her brother and Ren's wedding. Her brother went to take Ren from her family's house to his house. At the end of the day, Joe sat talking with Mai about their past during high school. He explained that every time he annoyed her, his intention was not to bother her. On the contrary, he always wanted to help, but fate was never on his side. He took her up to the roof and they took pictures together. The next day, at Mai's brother's workplace, the department head assigned him to write an article on behalf of the factory for the radio broadcast. He returned home. He held the pen and stared blankly at the paper, having only written the title. Mai entered and helped him. She wrote the article for him herself. When he submitted it to the department head and the assistant read it, the assistant mocked it and heavily criticized it. Even though the department head thought the article was good, the department head told Mai's brother to make some edits and submit it again. He returned home feeling frustrated. When Ren asked him, he explained the situation. She told him she would help. Ren said she belonged to the working class and would pour her heart out, ensuring the people would love it. She wrote it for him. During the meeting, he presented it in front of the manager and everyone else. Naturally, the assistant claimed it was very bad, random, and did not relate to reality at all. The assistant told him he should have written about the state's founding ceremonies instead. This was the exact topic he originally wrote. The assistant had previously mocked and criticized that very topic. The department head looked at the assistant triumphantly and told her he actually wrote that. The department head made him take out the first article. When the manager read it, she liked it very much. After work, Mai returned home and found a wooden arrow on the window. She remembered Joe telling her this was their secret sign, indicating he was on the roof. She went up to him and found him cooking food for her. They spent the day together on the roof until nightfall. Joe showed her his acting talents, and she talked to him about her dreams. She told him she wanted to become a writer. Joe told her that one day she would achieve this dream. However, she had already lost her passion. Later, he asked her what else she liked. She told him she was very skilled at sewing and wanted to become a fashion designer. She explained she got ideas from foreign movies. Joe promised they would watch movies together. He told her he would draw the outfits and she could design them. The next day, they went to the cinema. Joe started drawing every outfit he could catch on screen until he grew exhausted. She stayed up all night working on those designs after she almost hated the cinema and all movies. The next day at work, she showed them to a factory supervisor who liked them very much. The supervisor said Mai deserved to be in the clothing department. The manager's malicious assistant did not stay silent. She snatched the papers and accused Mai of neglecting her work for nonsense. Mai asked when she ever neglected her duties. The assistant tore all her designs. Mai sadly gathered the papers and put them in her bag. She returned home and Joe arrived, so she immediately hid the papers in a book. She told him the supervisor liked them and hid what happened. Joe saw a piece of torn paper on the floor. Joe's sister started her new job. Her ex-boyfriend worked in the same place. He tried to flirt with her. She told him she was still in the same social class because of what her parents did. A flashback showed her ex-boyfriend refusing to marry her in the past. He feared her family situation would affect his future. In the present, she scowled and told him to mind his boundaries. The next day, he sat next to her to discuss research. Her husband arrived and she went to stand with him. Her ex-boyfriend asked a colleague about the man. The colleague confirmed it was her husband. Later, the ex asked when she married and mentioned her husband's military lineage. She told him to mind his own business. He got angry and claimed her husband did not deserve her and asked if the husband knew her past. Her husband entered and said he knew everything and did not care. He told the stranger not to interfere in married couples' affairs. They returned home together. He asked why she did not tell him about her past before they traveled. She replied that she did tell him, but he was not sober. He apologized, explaining he drank for the anniversary of his former lover's death. He asked if she came there for her ex. She said their relationship ended 3 years ago and that she did not cling to the past. He told her she could ask anything about his late lover. She declined and said she would play her role as a replacement in silence. He said he would return to the city first for a surgery. The next day, he visited Joe to give him money. Joe realized the couple had a fight. He told his sister her husband had a sharp personality and advised patience. At the hospital, the husband tried to call her, but emergencies always happened. She waited for his call every day. The assistant said no one had called. At the factory, the supervisor informed Mai about a citywide competition. She nominated Mai to write a newspaper because it offered financial aid. Mai agreed and went to prepare the board. The malicious assistant stood over her and asked what she would write. The assistant gave her a factory anthem to write. Mai found the anthem terrible. Late that night, Joe offered to help Mai with the newspaper board. He drew while she wrote the content. They stayed up all night and created a masterpiece. The next day, the employees saw it and felt impressed by the anthem Mai wrote instead of the assistant's version. The assistant exploded in anger and asked why Mai ignored her instructions. Mai replied that the assistant's version was not suitable. The employees supported Mai and praised the perfect board. The assistant grew more frustrated and complained to the manager. When the manager came to inspect the work, Mai showed her both versions. The manager liked Mai's ideas. The assistant looked foolish in front of everyone. Joe sat with a famous painter who looked at Joe's drawings and liked them. When Joe arrived, the painter asked him to create another drawing. Joe agreed on the condition of a lunch reward. Joe drew a portrait of Mai. The painter loved the drawing and invited him for lunch. The painter offered Joe a job assisting with his comic books. Joe accepted immediately because of the heavy workload. Joe also asked for an extra plate of food to take home. He took the food home and shared it with Mai. Then he took her to the library archives to help her improve her reading and writing. They stayed up all night. The next day, Mai wrote many improved articles. She showed them to her teacher, who felt proud. Mai credited Joe for his help. Her passion grew every day. She cooked for Joe, and they celebrated together. She confessed she felt happy Joe entered her life. He gave her a folder containing the designs the assistant had torn. Joe found the pieces, fixed them, and colored her designs. Mai cried tears of joy when she saw the restored work. The next day, her parents visited and found the house messy. Her mother told Mai to clean up, calling her a failure. Her mother started removing the bed sheets to take them outside. She removed them to shake them out in the fresh air. They found the paper Mai wrote as an agreement between her and Joe. It stated the marriage was on paper only and forbade him from approaching her. The mother's blood pressure rose from the shock. The father closed the window so the children would not hear the scandal. He said they would discuss it at home later. Later, Joe and Mai went to the house. Everyone gathered and stared at them, which they did not understand. Then her father produced the paper, and her mother started yelling. Whenever one of them blamed themselves, the other claimed responsibility. The brother wanted them to divorce. Mai told them that she initially married him for the housing, but now she truly loved him. She added that their relationship was excellent, and they understood each other. However, the mother believed she was deceiving and lying to them again. Her father told her she would stay there tonight until they found a solution. She went out to talk to Joe. He felt overjoyed because she admitted her love for him. Joe promised to handle the situation. The next day, he went to her parents. They told him that to protect her reputation, they should wait a year and then divorce. Joe replied that he would not divorce her. He told them the story of how he loved her even before his mind returned to normal. He gave them his sketchbook. He showed them that he had been drawing her for a long time. He explained that they did this because he loved her, even though she did not love him yet. He agreed just to live with her. He could not believe that, through their time together, she loved him back. Mai cried, moved because she did not believe she loved him and thought her luck was always bad. She used to have a problem with good things, but now she understood all her good luck was saved for meeting him. Joe made her realize that no matter how hard life became, it felt easier when two people shared it together. Everyone felt moved and cried. Later, they walked together. She admitted that everything she said today came from her heart and that she loved him truly. Ren kept begging her husband to learn from Joe and show her affection. However, Mai's brother was a workaholic and did not care for romance. This was typical for the family. The next day, Joe and Mai went to the cinema together. Joe's former girlfriend waited for the manager's son because they also planned to go to the cinema. When the son left the factory and saw the couple together, he walked past her as if she were air. He went to them to try to annoy Mai. However, Mai acted very clingy with Joe. He left feeling furious. The other girl left the son as well, stating she did not want to watch the movie. He told her she could do as she pleased and left her. Joe's sister took a step and called her husband at the hospital. The nurse informed her that he was in surgery. She wrote him a message requesting a divorce because they were different from each other. She sent the message to the hospital. He read it and placed it in the drawer. Ren brought food for her husband at work. When she asked about him, they told her they finished early and went home. However, he did not return home. When he arrived late at night, she started a major investigation. She also smelled feminine moisturizer on him. Regarding Joe's sister, she finished her work and went to her housing. She found a gift package from her husband containing imported food and many sweets she liked. It also included a blouse and a note asking her to share the sweets with her colleagues, except for her former boyfriend. She called him at the hospital, and he answered. She asked if he had read her message. He replied that he had. She asked why he did not reply to her. He said that he just did, and asked if she disliked his response. She hung up feeling happy. She gave sweets to her friend and felt very excited. At the end of the day, she stayed up with her friend to knit a sweater. Joe started his job in the drawing department and felt happy with his new office. Meanwhile, his brother-in-law went to the hospital and found the sweater his wife made for him on his desk. He wore it immediately. His colleague felt surprised and told him the weather was not cold yet. He replied that he felt very cold, even though he was dripping with sweat. This was how men acted when they truly loved. In the city, everyone celebrated at night. At Mai's house, her parents wanted grandchildren from her and her brother. They felt they had waited long enough. At the manager's house, she told her son and his girlfriend they must get married after the holiday. They happily agreed. Joe's sister found her husband coming to her village to spend the holiday. The next day, he got ready and told her they should visit their relatives. He said the holiday was for family ties and wished her a happy holiday. They visited Joe and Mai and spent the day with them. Meanwhile, Ren suspected her husband. She got dressed and followed him as he went to work. She followed him until she saw him enter a place and heard a girl's voice. She ran to Mai crying, claiming her brother was cheating on her. Mai took her to that place. They found a large restaurant. He explained that there were many holiday banquets, so he came to help his mentor. When Mai realized the situation, she decided to leave. He reconciled with Ren. Ren felt convinced and left him to visit her family. Her malicious sister-in-law insulted her and asked why she left her husband. The sister-in-law accused Ren of coming to eat their meat for free. Ren did not stay silent. When Mai's brother arrived, he brought gifts of meat and fish. Ren took them and put them on the table. Ren did this to spite her sister-in-law and show her they were not in need. Later, Joe's former girlfriend married the manager's son. One day, Mai brought food to Joe at work. She saw the newspapers and asked Joe about publishing an article in her name. Joe told Mai about a writing competition. He explained that the best article would be published under the writer's name. Joe encouraged Mai to participate immediately. Meanwhile, the department head gave Mai's brother and his colleagues many files. The department head ordered them to write articles based on the files. Mai's brother asked Mai for help because he was bad at writing. Mai told him she had her own article to write and had not started yet. That same night, Mai stayed up to write her article. Joe stayed up to finish the comic drawings for the author he worked with. The next day, Mai mailed her article. Mai's brother remained confused and could not write anything. Back at Joe's work, the painter disliked Joe's drawings. Joe tried to explain his point of view. The painter scolded Joe and asked if Joe intended to teach him his own job. The painter told Joe to follow orders and gave him one more chance, only because of Joe's uncle. Joe's former girlfriend watched the scene. Joe looked at his drawings and threw them in the trash. His former girlfriend followed him to comfort him. She told Joe that life was difficult and noticed how much Joe had changed. Joe replied that he now ran a household and had responsibilities. At that moment, Mai arrived and asked Joe why he stood with her. Joe explained she worked in a different department at the newspaper. Mai and Joe returned home together. Mai's brother waited for them and said he wanted to talk to Joe for a while. Mai's brother sat with Joe and complained about his job. He said he did not know how to do the work and did not enjoy it. Joe advised him to do what he loved and leave the rest to God. The next day, Joe brought the new newspaper home. Joe told Mai they published her article. Mai read it happily, but her joy faded when she saw the name of Joe's former girlfriend as the author. They went to ask the manager about the mistake. The manager told them that no article ever arrived at the office in Mai's name. At the advertising department, the head scolded Mai's brother because 2 weeks passed and he had not finished his work. The head suggested Mai's brother get help from someone at home to finish the task quickly. Joe and Mai decided to confront the former girlfriend. The former girlfriend denied stealing the article. She challenged Mai to provide evidence. Later, Joe spoke to her alone. The former girlfriend confessed to Joe. She said she did it to keep her job because she had a difficult life in the past and feared returning to it. She made many excuses about her sad childhood. Meanwhile, the restaurant owner convinced Mai's brother to take sick leave. The owner offered Mai's brother a job at the restaurant for money. At the end of the day, Mai and Joe remembered something. They remembered the manager said the trash can outside the department was cleaned every 10 days. They decided to search it for Mai's article. While they searched, Mai found Joe's discarded drawings. She hid them and did not tell Joe. Then they finally found her torn article. The next day, they went to Joe's uncle, the newspaper manager. They told him what happened. The former girlfriend continued to deny it, and they argued. Mai produced her torn article as proof. The former girlfriend broke down. The former girlfriend cried and confessed. She apologized to the uncle, but he told her she needed to apologize to Mai. The former girlfriend apologized to Mai. Joe's uncle said they would republish the article under Mai's name the next morning. Mai said that was enough and did not want to take further action against her. The former girlfriend followed Mai outside and thanked her for the forgiveness. When they returned home, Mai told Joe to be honest with her if he faced any problems at work. The next day, Mai's colleague ran to her. The colleague showed Mai that her article won first place and was published in the newspaper. Everyone felt proud of Mai. The department head asked Mai to help her brother since his work was difficult. Mai agreed to take the articles from him and write them herself. Later, the manager's assistant saw Mai's brother riding a bicycle behind the restaurant owner. The assistant found it strange because both men were on sick leave. She intended to cause trouble for them. When they finished their work at the restaurant and received their pay, the assistant saw them. The assistant planned to snitch to the manager. Joe sat on the roof of their house feeling sad. He remembered the painter's rejection. Mai came to Joe. She had collected his initial sketches that she found in the trash. Mai put the sketches in a box, then framed and hung them in the house. She told Joe she liked them very much and they were beautiful. Joe performed several acting segments for the comic stories. The next day, after the malicious assistant snitched to the manager summoned Mai's brother and his friend, the restaurant owner. She scolded them because having another source of income outside their jobs was forbidden. She wanted to fire them. The man explained he had a house and children to feed. Mai's brother said he was the one who suggested the job and brought his friend along. He asked her to spare the friend and fire him instead. The department head signaled him to stay silent. He apologized to her and admitted he did not like the job and was not successful in it. He admitted he occupied the position without purpose. The manager actually decided to fire him. She kept the other employee and forgave him. Then, an employee ran to tell Mai that her brother was fired. Mai went to talk to him and he explained how much he hated that job because it felt empty and required no effort. He felt more comfortable working with his hands. She understood him. He asked her not to tell anyone yet. Later, they were all at home. Joe went to talk to him to see what he would do regarding work. He said he would earn a living with a sweet potato cart. He planned to hide this from Ren for a while because he did not know how to tell her. Joe warned him that taxes might cause him trouble and gave him money to manage until the end of the month. The next day, the government actually confiscated his sweet potato cart. Ren arrived and found the policeman standing with him. She told the policeman he was mistaken because he was an employee in the advertising department. She kept saying this until he told her he was fired from his job. She got very angry with him. She asked how he could hide something like that and scolded him in front of the policeman. The policeman felt sorry for him and did not take any action. He told him to listen to his wife next time. She walked with him and looked very angry. He did not speak either until he drove her crazy. Then she told him he must either return to his job in the advertising department or forget that they were married. At the factory, we learned why the malicious assistant did that. She wanted to provide a job for her lover. She kept talking to the manager and said the position was vacant. She said they urgently needed an employee. She nominated her lover. The manager caught on and noted that he was the first candidate for everything. She noted he was nominated for housing and jobs. The manager asked if the assistant wanted him to have every good thing the factory offered. She shut her down and told her to focus on her work and stay away from the housing issue. The next day, Mai's brother went to his wife at work and reconciled with her. He explained how much he hated working in that department. She understood him and did not pressure him further. They reconciled. At their home, the power went out. Joe was fetching water from outside and hit his head. They took him to the hospital, and Mai ran after him. She left their apartment door open. At that time, the manager's assistant was in the complex. She passed by, saw the door open, and entered with total audacity. Inside, she saw the books Mai read. It was forbidden for common people to read those books. The next day, Mai returned home to get their things. She found the assistant waiting for her with 2 officers. They accused her of possessing forbidden books. They took her to detention to investigate. When Joe found out, he ran there. He told them the books were his, but they detained both of them. Meanwhile, Joe's sister and her husband went to visit Joe's house. When they arrived, their neighbor told them everything that happened. They went to the police station immediately, but they did not find them because they had already left. Joe's former girlfriend appeared, and the sister stopped her. The sister asked to be taken to the manager to talk about a security issue. They went to talk to her and said the books belonged to them. They claimed they left the books at the house. Joe's former girlfriend talked to her husband, who was the manager's son. She told him he must help Mai. She admitted Mai made a mistake, but did not deserve that punishment. He said he wanted to do that, but feared she would think he still had feelings for Mai. Since it was her wish, he agreed to intervene. He went to talk to his mother. He told her they did not deserve this, and it was not a crime that warranted detention. Joe's sister told her that times changed. She said they must allow students to expand their knowledge because it would benefit the country country. The manager was convinced by their words. She went to the detention center and released them. However, she punished them by withdrawing their housing until she monitored their behavior. The assistant stood behind them, feeling happy. Later, they took their furniture to her family's house. Joe said he would sleep at the office so they could sleep comfortably. He went to the newspaper office and slept. In the middle of the night, an earthquake hit the city. All the houses collapsed, and everyone ran outside their homes. While they ran, Mai saw a lost child. Pieces of wood were about to fall on her. Mai ran to help. Joe reached them after the earthquake. He looked for Mai and found her safe. Later, he built tents so the residents could take shelter from the storm. Everyone helped him, and they slept there until morning. Mai went to check on him. She found he built a tent for the two of them so she could sleep. He told her not to be sad, as they were finally alone. Later, the manager announced that the weather was unstable and more earthquakes were predicted. She said they could not take leave because they needed to manufacture protective resources and help the residents. She went. Mai went to her work. Joe told her he would pick her up because the situation was worrying these days. At that time, his uncle arrived and informed him that the newspaper wanted employees to volunteer to make tents to save lives and property. They also wanted to create special comic stories about earthquake dangers and protection methods so people would understand better. However, their workforce was very small. Joe said he would volunteer because he lived in the countryside and knew how to handle danger. He added that he knew how to build tents and would help. His uncle said he really wanted him to go, but noted Joe was a newlywed. Joe insisted on going to help the people. His uncle said they would move immediately because the news was not reassuring and there was no time. Joe went to tell his parents that the newspaper sent him to the earthquake center because they needed journalists to report the news. He said he would call Mai to tell her because he had no time. He called the factory, but Mai's colleague answered. He told her to inform Mai that he traveled to the earthquake center for support. When Mai learned this, she ran to the newspaper to say goodbye, but they had already left by bus. She kept running after the bus and calling him, but she did not catch it. When she stopped, exhausted, Joe got off the bus and came to her. He apologized and said he had to leave because people really needed help. Mai gave him a bag of food and said goodbye. Regarding his sister, her husband came to her housing and gave her the divorce paper she wrote before. He told her he signed it. He added that the hospital sent him with a medical team to save the injured at the earthquake center. He noted his colleagues either died or got injured. He told her if something happened to him, she could move on. She took the paper, tore it up, and said she would wait for him. She told him to save the people and return safe. She broke down in tears as he left. At the center, the scenes were difficult and the injured were many. Joe arrived with his team. A soldier showed them the tent where they would draw. His colleague said they must start drawing everything they saw on the way. However, Joe did not like this. He wanted to help the rescue forces. He believed staying there and drawing would not save anyone's life. At the same time, Joe's brother-in-law offered to help the forces. He wanted to be at the earthquake site itself, not in the clinics. He believed he could save people faster that way. They began moving the injured and pulling people out from under the rubble with the rescue forces. The next day, a strong aftershock occurred. It was broadcast on the radio. Mai heard it and learned there were injuries among the rescue forces, but they did not mention names. She went to ask Joe's uncle, but he reassured her that there was no news or names, so Joe must be fine. However, she did not feel at ease. She went to the factory manager to ask to go to the earthquake center to check on Joe herself. The manager agreed. Mai went to say goodbye to her parents. They let her go, and her mother broke down afterward. She left and arrived there. She searched for Joe in the clinics among the injured, but did not find him. Then she saw him arriving with the rescue forces and called his name. They sat together. Joe told her about what he saw and the people he saved. He felt very affected by a child they could not save. He showed her the drawings he made since he arrived. Joe said he would send her in a car back to the city, but she insisted on staying with him. They went together to save the people. After many days like this, they finally returned to the city. They were exhausted, but the important thing was their return. Joe's sister arrived at her housing. She saw a picture of her husband with the medical team as he returned. He stayed away for more than a month, but the danger passed. We saw the manager sitting with her son and his wife. Then her son asked her to mediate for his wife to take the vacant job in the advertising department. The next day in the factory, the manager spoke with the department head. She asked her to check the required qualifications because she had someone to nominate for the job. It was her daughter-in-law. The malicious assistant overheard them and felt extremely jealous. Back to Joe. His uncle sat with the painter and showed him the drawings Joe made when he was at the earthquake center. The painter liked them and said he would publish them in Joe's name. However, the painter saw a drawing of Mai and noted she was a factory worker. The painter objected and suggested making the character a doctor or nurse. Joe Joe said these were real events, and Mai was his wife who was actually there and helped a lot. Joe refused to change it and stayed stubborn. His uncle tried to reason with him. He said this was Joe's first work to be published in his name, and it would help his career. He advised Joe to listen to him. He suggested that once Joe became famous, he could make an entire album for Mai. He convinced Joe to go apologize. Joe entered to apologize, but said he would not modify anything. He took his drawings. The painter felt offended and left. Later, Joe met Mai in a restaurant and showed her the drawings. She felt very happy when she saw her picture, but he did not tell her about anything. He told her they would be published soon. Later, he sat with his uncle. His uncle said he would display them on the front page of the newspaper. At the cotton factory, a new deputy manager visited the factory. The manager welcomed him, but his first decision was that the president ordered every employee to return to their original workshop from the beginning. This meant the manager would return to being a regular worker. She said there must be a mistake and asked him to review the organization unit again. At this point, the assistant entered and spoke informally. She told the deputy the decision was correct because 2 days ago the assistant, accused the manager of using her authority to get her daughter-in-law a job through nepotism, and complaints were filed against her. The manager returned home and fell into a deep depression. She locked herself in her room and refused to eat. The daughter-in-law decided to visit the deputy manager the next day. She wanted to prove to him that her qualifications justified her position. She went to speak with him. She showed him her articles. He saw that she actually wrote well and noted that no decision was taken against the manager yet because they had only heard one side. He spoke about the manager's achievements during her time at the factory. He stated the factory could not function without her, and they needed to convey this to her. He told the daughter-in-law not to worry about the manager's position and that he would still discuss it with the president. Before leaving, he looked at the assistant and told her that she should return to the workshop because her negative attitude did not suit the administrative department. Joe's drawings achieved great fame. He received many letters from fans and people he saved. The letters stated that his parents were arriving soon. Mai visited him at work, and he read her the letters. He asked her to reply to them herself. Joe planned to travel to a village to bring his parents back. On the last day, the manager remained consumed by her depression. The daughter-in-law brought her food and sat with her. She recounted their morning visit to the deputy manager and repeated his words. She left the manager to eat in peace. The next day, the manager wore workers' clothes and went to the workshop with passion. Joe spoke with his sister. He gave her a ticket to the village where their parents were so she could welcome them. She insisted she was done with them and refused. During lunchtime at the factory, all the workers left the table when the manager sat down. Mai arrived and sat beside her, encouraging her colleagues to join. Joe's sister sat in her room, looking at the ticket and feeling upset. Her husband arrived and convinced her that enough time had passed and she should forgive them. He promised to support her regardless of her decision. At the end of the day, Joe tried to draw his parents. He realized he did not remember their features, only the moment they abandoned him and left. The next day, Mai saw him off at the station. He waited for his sister for a long time. The train was about to leave. Mai told him to go because his sister was not coming. He boarded the train. We saw that his sister actually arrived, but hesitated and could not board. Joe reached the village and met his parents. When they saw him, they broke down in tears because he grew up without them. They felt sad that the sister did not come, but were not surprised. Joe told them he got married. He showed them a picture of Mai. The next day, Mai's brother's colleague told him he mediated for him with the deputy manager. The deputy manager agreed to hire him as an assistant cook. He felt happy and told his family. His father felt proud knowing his son loved cooking. He went to work with great energy. The former manager's son also worked in the kitchen because the basketball team was canceled. Nothing lasts forever. At Mai's house, they prepared to welcome Joe's parents. Joe's sister felt anxious about the meeting. Her husband convinced her to go and promised to stay by her side. He said they would leave if she felt uncomfortable. She was convinced. Joe arrived with his parents the next day. Mai's family welcomed them and sat for a meal. Everyone waited for Joe's sister. She intended to go, but her husband's grandmother fell ill. She decided to stay with him and visit her parents another time. Joe's mother said they should not wait any longer, as she knew the sister would not come. Then Joe asked to live with them. They agreed and felt very happy. The very next day, Joe and Mai moved to their house and started furnishing it. Mai discovered Joe had carved her name on the wall long ago in his room. She carved her name as well, so their children would witness their love. The scene moved to the sister's husband. His grandmother needed brain surgery. His father told him he did not want his son to perform the operation. The doctor felt upset. His wife spoke to him. She asked if he wanted to perform the surgery. He admitted he did, but noted his father's fear due to his previous failure. She told him that if she were the grandmother, she would want him to do it. She said the grandmother would say the same if she were awake. At the factory, Mai met the new manager and presented her articles. He liked her writing and mentioned her previous rejections. He told her to consider those rejections as a test of patience. He said she would be the first candidate for the scholarship. She cried with joy. Joe sat with his uncle. His uncle explained that his earthquake drawings earned him a permanent position in the department. However, he had to work under the painter's supervision. His uncle advised him to apologize and accept the modifications to build his career. Joe remained stubborn. He felt upset at home. Mai ran to him with the news of her scholarship. She noted it would affect her income. She said the financial responsibility would fall on him. He replied that he also had good news about his permanent job. He finally went to apologize to the painter. The annoying painter insisted on his modifications, such as deleting Mai from the pictures. He ordered Joe to delete the surgeon and add dramatic plots to attract readers. Joe had no choice but to comply. He only agreed with his head down. He gave the painter the paper containing the modifications he would change. Joe's mother went to her old workplace in the math department, which was the same department where her daughter worked. The department head told the daughter that her mother was there. The daughter said it did not matter and everyone would perform their own duties. The grandmother's surgery succeeded and she woke up. She felt very happy that her grandson performed the surgery. The grandmother met the doctor's wife. Later, the husband took his wife for a walk. He talked to her about his former girlfriend to move on from her completely. He told his wife she was entirely different and would never be anyone's replacement. The next day, Joe's sister went to her work and was surprised to see her mother there. They greeted each other in a strictly formal manner. It appeared the mother was even more stubborn than her daughter. The daughter gave her mother math problems that needed editing to benefit from her experience. The mother coolly told her to leave the problems and said she would look at them and return them later. At the end of the shift, the husband came to pick up Joe's sister. The mother handed back the problems and left. When the husband asked if she was a new colleague, the sister replied that she was her mother. The husband told her that since they were in the same workplace, she must respect her mother and talk to her. She told him he did not understand that her mother's personality was much more stubborn than hers. She noted they would struggle together for a while. Mai sat with her father-in-law. He helped Mai with the Chinese language she planned to specialize in at college. Afterward, Mai spoke to him. She reminded him that he once told Joe that words were more important than drawings and expressed more meaning. She wanted to prove the importance of drawings to him. She looked for the file containing Joe's drawings. She found the paper containing the modifications the painter requested for the new novel. At that time, Joe sat with the painter. The painter requested more modifications for his work. Joe kept agreeing to everything. Mai entered and told them she had another opinion. She spoke to the painter very logically. She said all his novels were fictional and he should allow reality a chance to speak. She argued that reality should be the essence of the novel. The painter stayed silent for a moment, but said he addressed the reader's minds, not their own. Joe suggested he draw a realistic drawing while the painter drew a fictional one. They would see which one influenced the readers more. The painter called it a great idea. He said if Joe won, his name would be placed on the novel with his drawings. However, if Joe lost, he would lose his job. Joe's uncle scolded him for gambling with his future. They started the competition and the voting. The painter won by a single vote. Joe lost his job. Joe told Mai it was better than drawing things he did not like. Mai went to the factory and found her name on the scholarship list. She cried from extreme joy. Joe returned home and told his parents he left the job at the newspaper. He also told them Mai would go to university. His mother said she was not yet officially permanent at the school. His father's job at the cultural office also needed more time. Joe went to pick Mai up from work. When they returned, they overheard his parents talking. They wanted to sell the bracelet intended for Mai as a wedding gift because they had no money. Joe and Mai entered and apologized for overhearing. Mai told her mother-in-law to give her the bracelet. She said she and Joe would manage the situation. Mai took the gift and felt very happy with it. She thought about how she and Joe would find work. Joe told her he asked someone at the youth office to inform him of any opportunity. The next day, Joe met him and learned of a waiter position. Joe went to the interview. The restaurant owner liked his energy very much and hired him immediately. Joe told Mai he was accepted. He started the job the very next day. Ren finished her work, but a customer arrived in a hurry because he was traveling. He bought many items and left quickly. Her husband arrived to pick her up and found a wallet. Ren took it from him and ran to catch the man, but he already left. When they opened it, they found a lot of money inside. The manager was not there to receive it. Ren said they must hide it well until the owner appeared. She said it was not right to give it to anyone else. She went to her parents' house and hid it in a clothes bag there. Her brother watched her. As soon as she went out and came back, she found her brother and mother counting the money. Her mother told her to lend her brother 400. Ren said it was not her money, but a customer's. Ren and her brother fought over the bag. Her husband entered and took the money from the brother. He took Ren and they left. Joe's sister sister decided to visit her old home. She could not enter. As she was about to leave, her father saw her and called her name. He took her hand to enter the house. Her mother arrived and asked why he stood with her. She asked if this was the same daughter who cut them off because they were bad for her future. The mother claimed they were still not good enough. She took the father inside. The sister returned to her husband crying. The husband went to their house the next day. Her father welcomed him very well, but her stubborn mother refused to talk to him. The mother entered her room and locked it. He knocked many times, but she did not open. He returned to his wife and said he visited them. He told her the father was ready to welcome her, but the mother needed some time. He said that since she cut them off in the past, she should try to return to them. At the end of the day, Joe received his first salary. He felt happy with the pay and calculated with Mai what they would buy. They spent the time drawing and dreaming. Ren and her husband were worried about the money they had. They did not know whether to hand it to the police, but they decided to wait a little longer because the owner was traveling and would surely return to ask about it. Joe's sister decided to start fixing her past mistakes. She brought food for her mother and kept calling her mama in front of the entire school until her mother got angry and told her to come outside. The daughter told her, "You did not call me mama. You were the one who set a boundary between us." She told her mother that they were in her heart and asked her not to be like that. Then she returned to finish her work. Joe worked in the restaurant with a calm mind. A painter visited him and offered him a job at a publishing house to draw for a new novel. Though they did not know the author's identity yet, they returned to the school after work finished. Joe's sister told her mother, "Enough, rest a little." The mother replied, "You were not like this before. If you call me mama again." Before she finished her sentence, her husband entered and called her mama as well. She left them and walked away. Joe returned to Mai at night and told her about the novel at the publishing house. He suggested she write it and try her luck, and she agreed. 3 days later, Ren came home with the owner of the lost money. He brought a certificate of honor for her husband for his honesty. They held a party for him in the street, and he felt very proud of himself. At the factory, the manager summoned him and gave him a permanent position because of his honesty and good character. He thanked the manager profusely. At Joe's house, he cooked for them himself and prepared a feast. When his mother asked about the occasion, he said he invited a friend. It was his sister and her husband, as previously agreed. She entered and took it as a challenge to not leave without reconciling. She approached her mother and told her, "I made a shawl for you to keep you warm." The mother replied, "I received one from you before, along with a letter saying you were cutting us off forever." She left her and entered the room. The daughter followed her and explained that she just did not want to abandon her future. She cried a lot, asking her mother to forgive her mistake and welcome her back into the family. However, her mother's heart remained stone until the end. The girl left heartbroken, and her father cried from his sorrow. Joe tried to reason with his mother. He asked why she was angry with his sister when the sister was just like her. Using reason and logic, he began comparing himself to his sister. He said he always sent them letters and money, while she never sent anything in her life except one letter cutting them off. The mother said, "Every year I read it to remind myself that I did not have daughters." Joe told her, "Give me the letter, and I will burn it completely, so it will no longer exist." He convinced her that everyone made mistakes in the past. To reunite, they had to overlook those old errors. Before he left, he told her that the money he used to send them was actually sent to him by his sister specifically for them. Joe's brother-in-law went to their house the next day to sit with the mother. He told her every good thing the daughter said about them. He gave her the picture where the daughter had cut out her own face, which she had glued back together. Finally, the mother's hard heart softened. The mother went to her daughter's work and gave her the picture. She told her, "If you want to isolate someone else, do not isolate yourself." She gave her a mirror that the daughter was attached to in high school and had kept all this time. They finally reconciled. The entire family gathered and took a new picture. Meanwhile, the manager's assistant faced the consequences of her actions. Her lover left her. Her lover left her and told her, "I am sorry, but you are no longer suitable for me now that you are just a worker in the workshop while I am a university student." She asked him, "Who put you in this university and worked hard to get you a job in housing?" He said goodbye and left her. The next day, something happened in her department. 2 machines burned down in her department. The manager fired her from the factory and withdrew the housing, which originally belonged to Joe. Mai ran to Joe to share the news that their home was returned to them. They gathered their things to move back. His father wanted them to stay, but Mai said they wanted their own small home. She promised they would visit him often. They went to their apartment and furnished it. The next day, Mai went to the factory, and the manager informed her that the university entrance exams were delayed. She left his office feeling very upset and cried. Joe comforted her, and he did not know what to do about her bad luck. 2 days later, as she went to work, the manager showed her news in the newspapers that the exams were back. They continued the registrations. She felt overjoyed and started preparing for the exams. Her mother-in-law helped her with math, and her father-in-law helped with history. She stayed up all night studying and woke up poor Joe with her. The next day, he returned returned from work, he found the wooden arrow on the window. He went up to the roof and found all his paintings on wooden stands. He looked at them one by one, recalling their memories together. She came up and told him, "This is my gift to you before I travel to the university. This is your first exhibition. Thank me now." Joe decided to apply to the university as well because his only dream was for them to stay together. Mai felt very happy with this decision. His mother taught them both, but he kept falling asleep because he was not interested. After nights of hard work, the exam day arrived. She went to the hall and found her teacher waiting for her. Outside, the teacher encouraged her and said she knew Mai would pass without effort. Mai entered the exam while her family waited for her anxiously. It was her only dream. We learned that Ren was pregnant, and finally, Mai's father would become a grandfather. He became a grandfather just as he wanted. After a long wait, Mai entered and told them she passed. She passed the exam and finally got accepted into the university. Everyone celebrated her. Mai and Joe went to the university as they planned. The events of the series ended. Goodbye.